Every financial expert says the same thing. Build an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of expenses. Meanwhile, you're staring at your bank account 4 days before payday, doing mental math on whether you can afford gas this week. Those two realities don't exist in the same universe, and yet somehow you're supposed to bridge that gap. Here's the truth nobody says out loud. That advice isn't wrong. It's just aimed at the wrong moment in your journey. And there's a completely different way to start when you're living paycheck to paycheck. The mistake almost everyone makes is treating an emergency fund as an all-or-nothing goal. Either you have 6 months of expenses saved, or you don't really have an emergency fund at all. That mindset is exactly why so many people never start. If the target feels impossible, your brain quietly gives up before you even try. So let's throw out the 6-month number for now and talk about what actually works when money is already tight. Step 1. Forget the big number entirely and aim for $100. Not a typo. $100. That's it. This isn't meant to protect you from every disaster. It's meant to prove something to your brain, that saving is possible even in your current situation. Most people can find $100 over a month or two, even if it means selling something you don't use, skipping a few takeout orders, or setting aside loose change and small transfers whenever you can. Step 2. Automate an amount so small it barely registers. $5 a week, $10 a week. Whatever feels almost embarrassingly small. Set up an automatic transfer the day your paycheck hits, before you see the money and before you can spend it. The amount matters far less than the habit. You're training a muscle here, not solving your entire financial life in one move. Step 3, and this is the part people skip. Separate this money into an account you don't see every day. If your emergency fund lives in the same account as your spending money, it will get spent. Not because you're careless, but because seeing it makes it feel available. Out of sight genuinely means out of temptation here. Step 4. Once you hit that first $100, don't stop and don't celebrate by spending it. Immediately set the next target, $300, then $500, then $1,000. Each of these feels achievable because you just proved the previous one was possible. This is how the 6-month number eventually becomes real, not by jumping straight to it, but by stacking small proven wins until the big number stops feeling theoretical. Here's why this approach actually works better than trying to save aggressively all at once. When people attempt dramatic cuts overnight, cutting out everything enjoyable to save as much as possible, they usually burn out within a few weeks and abandon the habit completely. Small, almost invisible amounts don't trigger that same resistance. You're not fighting your own willpower every single day. You're just letting an automatic transfer quietly do its job in the background. There's also a mental shift that happens the moment you have even $100 set aside that isn't part of your regular spending money. Your brain starts treating you as someone who saves, not someone who's failed at saving. That identity shift matters more than the dollar amount because it changes how you approach every future financial decision. If your income genuinely doesn't stretch far enough to save anything right now, the answer isn't to feel guilty. It's to look at what's actually flexible in your specific situation. A subscription you forgot about, a slightly cheaper phone plan, a few fewer delivery orders. You don't need a dramatic overhaul. You need one small, boring, consistent transfer that happens whether you remember it or not. So if 6 months of expenses feels like a cruel joke right now, ignore it completely. Start with $100, then the next number. The goal was never to jump straight to safety. It's to build the kind of system that gets you there one small proven step at a time. if this made building an emergency fund feel possible instead of impossible, hit subscribe. Penny's got a lot more of these realistic, step-by-step approaches coming.